What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sportsminute. I am Ace, and of course, I'm joined tonight by my co-host, none other than J-Mac. J-Mac, how are you doing tonight?
Not too bad. Rare night off. Not umpiring tonight, so jump on here and not so tired this week. I probably don't look so tired either. But yeah, rare night off from umpiring.
Very nice. Last night was actually the first time I actually refereed women's flag. That was
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was my first experience with that last night. I'm so used to experiencing, and officiating tackle that the very, very first play, as the girl's like running the ball, and the girl pulls her flag. I'm watching. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta blow a whistle. I was like, it's flag, it's not tackle. So yeah. I was so used to it. But anyway, welcome.
That'll happen. So even in umpiring, like I'm umpiring anything from second and third graders all the way to varsity varsity high school. So you're in the varsity high school, you're looking for box and you're looking for infield flies and all that. And then you go do a second grade game and you're like, that's infield fly. And they're like, what the hell are you talking about? That doesn't exist in T-ball.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, my bad. You're right. My bad. Right. My bad. Yeah, it happens. Welcome to the world of officiating and how things definitely change over time. It's crazy. Anyway, thanks everybody for hopping on and watching another episode of Sports Minute. Tonight we have some very fun topics for you tonight. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start out with our recap of NASCAR from Kansas. So again, I think some people were a little annoyed by this because, again, who took the checkered flag this week at Kansas Speedway? None other than Mr. Tyler Reddick. So again, he wins his fifth race of the season. He started from the pole position. Even though he started from the pole, he actually only led 10 laps, but he was still able to take that checkered flag. Even though he only led 10 laps, he still got it. So with this being his fifth win of the season, this race actually gained him another 71 points. And of course, since he's won the 5 races, he's still currently in first place in the point standing with 457 points. Finishing second in this race was Kyle Larson, who actually led 78 laps and earned 54 points. Kyle Larson is currently fifth in the standings, and he's currently sitting at 314 points on the season. Now, Chase Briscoe, this is not, you haven't really heard his name much this year. He did get a top 3 finish. He finished third on Sunday at Kansas. He didn't lead any laps, but he was able to gain 38 points. Chase Briscoe is actually 15th currently in the point standings at 214 points. And then going to the person who finished fourth was Denny Hamlin, who's had himself a heck of a season so far. He actually led 131 laps in this race. He earned 52 points. Denny Hamlin actually takes over second place. He actually leapfrogs Ryan Blaney in the standings. So now Denny Hamlin is now currently in second place with 352 points on the season. So that is your NASCAR recap for the week. And let's see if, again, next week, Tyler Reddick will pick up his 6th win of the season. Hopefully it might end up being somebody different. I really hope it does, but still, I'm not going to sit there and say that the guy's cheating. People are watching his car on the track like, oh yeah, his car's definitely faster than everybody else's. What's up with this? I'm not into that. Tyler Reddick is just having a good year. It is what it is. There's no conspiracy theory around it. So there you go. There's the NASCAR recap of the week. J-Mac, did you have anything to add? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple of things here. I wrote down, first off, Chase Briscoe. really, that guy growing up had 3 ways he could have gone with his profession. He could have been a NASCAR driver, so I guess check 1 off the list. He could have been a professional wrestler with that name, or he could have starred in a Western as a cowboy.
Yeah, true.
Like that's it. Those were his 3 options.
Well, he did do one of them, so he's doing it now.
Just saying, Chase Briscoe. That's one of the best names I've heard in a long time. Now, hats off to Denny Hamlin for sticking it out in there, being second overall. I don't understand the points. I've never really understood the points in NASCAR. So I'm not even going to attempt to try and understand the points because I really, it's over my head and it doesn't matter. But keep winning races. You're gonna end up winning the season. So I think it's gonna just from the way you're talking, it's gonna come out of those top 2 guys. Reddick and Hamlin. So, but Chase Briscoe, I hope he can move up from 15th. That's my new favorite NASCAR driver. I got that one written down. I'm never gonna forget that one. So let's go, Team Briscoe.
Team Briscoe. All right, you are Team Briscoe. All right. Jumping into our next topic of the evening, we have some MLB. Now, what we're going to be talking about with MLB is kind of a little fun topic because since we're right around the 3rd week of the season, 3.5, I would say, we're looking at that. We're saying, okay, the surprise bad and then the surprise good. So from what I have, I want to see, J-Mac, if you kind of agree with me or if these kind of teams is kind of what you had as picked as like the surprise good and surprise bad. So for me, even though I'm a huge Atlanta Braves fan and so are you, I will say the biggest shocker right now on the bad team has to be the New York Mets. They've lost 12 consecutive games because they lost again tonight. And so the Mets are right now, they are just a disaster. They're near last place in offense, a bullpen with over in ERA of 5 and poor starting pitching. Despite a high payroll, and as we know, the Mets went out and they got some players. They went out and got some players. A Bo Bichette, he's out there. A Juan Soto. So they have some high priced players. But whatever it is right now for the Mets, it's not working. They're not putting it together. Now, for me, because they are saying that there's really not leadership in the locker room, you got to have that team captain. So whether or not you agree with me on this, J-Mac, I think what actually really, really hurt the Mets is that when Pete Alonso left, because I thought that Pete Alonso was that captain of the Mets. So losing him, I think, was hurt a lot more than what people thought it would have.
Sure. Sure. I mean, yeah, their record may be a little surprising after about 3 weeks, but just a little history on the Mets here. Do you know how many division titles they've won since 1990?
I'm not sure. I don't.
2.
Two.
Do you know where that ranks them as far as the NL East goes?
That's probably, I would say, probably last.
It's 6th. How many teams are in the NL East?
5. So because there actually was another.
Yeah. So the Pirates actually have 3 NL East titles. More NL East titles than the Mets. And the Pirates haven't been in the NL East since 1994.
Right, yeah. Yeah. So that tells you something. But would you kind of agree with me on that part that the Mets right now are probably that surprise bad team, or did you have another team in mind?
Actually, the Mets are one for sure. Actually, I have the Royals. I don't know what happened with the Royals. I got them on the wheel of doom, and I was like, man, I'm sitting pretty good with the Royals, and the Royals are actually worse than the Mets. They have a worse record. I don't know what happened with the Royals. Pasquantino and they had Seth Lugo on the pitching side. Pasquantino offensively, they had Salvador Perez, Bobby Witt Jr., who's probably the best shortstop or the best all around shortstop in baseball. They didn't coming into they were. I mean, I had them ranked in the top 10 for power rankings. I had the Mets there too. So I mean, definitely those two teams are just. I don't think anyone can explain it. The two of the teams you thought were going to be right there in the end, and again, I don't think you can win a division in April. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying that either division is gone, but like you pointed out, the Mets have lost 12 games in a row. So even on the days when Atlanta loses, like they did today, and they're in first place, the Mets are still 7. Is it 7.5 now, or is it 8 games out of first place?
They are the Mets. The Mets are like 7.5 out. Yeah.
So you're 7.5 games out of first place with a 12-game losing streak 3 weeks into the season. I'm not saying your hopes are over, but it's definitely a little bit of a time to be a little alarmed. Like, we're not talking 5-bell alarm here, but maybe a 3-bell alarm at this point. Like, you don't get something going soon, what's going to happen when you start playing all the teams in the NL East? It's not going to be good. You're already so far down. You're going to have to sweep everybody to make any any headway in the division. And the same with the Royals. Luckily for them, no one's played great in the Central, but they're still 4.5 games out in April, and they're 7-16, I believe now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's not good. It's not good when you're in that position in April because you're constantly trying to come up from the bottom. I mean, so 7-16 means you're 9 games under 500. That's even if you play 500 ball the rest of the season, winning one, losing one for the rest of the year, right? That still means you end the season at what? That would put you at 75 and 87-ish, 77 and 85, I guess, is what you would end up at the end of the season. And that's playing 500 ball the rest of the year. So that means to even get over the 500 mark, you're going to have to play. I mean, it puts you way behind the 8 ball, the 8 ball.
So currently, they're 8-16 on the year. They're 5.5 games out. That's what the Royals are. Now you look at the Mets. The Mets are 7-16. They're 8.5 games out.
That's what I'm saying. Like 8.5 games. That means, I mean, you only play your division when they redid the schedules. It was just after COVID. I think it was 2022, the first full season back after COVID. They redid it where you play every team now. You used to only play every team every other year. Now you get one series against every team, and that reduced your divisional games from 17 to 13, right? So now you have 13 games, and I'm just thinking this from a mathematical standpoint. Now if I'm the Mets and I'm 13 games, or I'm sorry, 8.5 games behind the Braves, that means to even catch them and have the same record, right? That means I have to gain 9 games on them. So to gain 9 games on them, I essentially have to go 11-2 during the season to catch them and have the same record. And you haven't played them yet. You're already behind the 8 ball. You're going to have to beat them 11 out of 13 times.
Yeah.
Directly to make up that ground.
I was actually surprised in a way too that when we were going to talk about the bad teams, in a way, I kind of thought that you could potentially throw out the Blue Jays. The only reason I'm saying that I thought you might blow out the Blue Jays is because you actually had them at number 1 in the power rankings.
I did. So, you're right. I did have them number 1 in the power ranking, and it was because of all the pieces they had. And guess what? The wheels fell off because they didn't get those pieces going in the season. And I mean, here we are. It's baseball. This is why we love the game of baseball. This is why right here. This is why. You could talk about any other sport that you want. I mean, the NBA and the NHL, they have, 82 games every year. So there's some things there. But like the NFL, you have 17 weeks or 17 games, right? You fall 4 games behind. That's a lot.
It is. Yeah.
Baseball, you're 4 games behind in April. It's not insurmountable. You can definitely come back from that, but it doesn't put you in a good spot. Like I said, keep in mind, the Mets now have to gain 9 games to catch the Braves, and we're in April.
Yeah, well, so mentioning about the Blue Jays are only 4.5 out, so that's still not.
I'm not worried about them, and even the Royals. The Royals are only 4.5 out. That one's not the big one, but right now, 5.5. Okay, but
I think they're 5.5. Yeah,
but when you're talking about the Mets, you've lost 12 in a row. You had a chance to gain a game tonight.
Yeah,
the Nationals
they lost their 12 consecutive games.
That's what I'm saying. But the Marlins also lost, and I believe the Phillies also lost too. You all had a chance to gain a game tonight, and you all shit the bed.
That's why I'm like thinking, if you were to start the season and look at the NL East and say the Braves won, which, okay, that's not really a far fetch that they're at number 1 in the East at the moment. That's not the far-fetched point. But you look at the teams that are sitting in second and third, you have the Marlins that are in second, you have the Nationals that are in third, then you have the Phillies in fourth and the Mets in fifth. If you were to start the season, there's no way that you would have thought that the Marlins and Nationals would be sitting at 2 and 3 in the East.
No, not at all. I will say I could have seen the Phillies at 3 or 4. And the reason for that is I actually saw flaws in their lineup before the season started. Their 1-2-3 is probably as good as any 1-2-3 in baseball. When you got Turner, Schwarber, and Harper 1 through 3, those guys can go up against anybody when it comes to the top 3. Who's their 4th best hitter in the lineup?
I guess if you had to throw a name out there, Realmuto is probably their 4th best hitter. If you would have asked like a year or so ago, it would have been Alec Boehm, but he hasn't been playing well. So
I'll give you Realmuto. Who's number 5?
No, I'm saying it probably would have been Boehm, but he's not having.
Right, but you're seeing my point. It's like you have to actually think about. You actually have to sit and go through their lineup and try to figure out who you're going to put next in the lineup, who's actually going to produce. And that's the Phillies' problem. They don't have depth in their lineup. So I actually could have seen them at 3rd or 4th, because when your pitcher is off for the night, I mean, they just had 3 games against Atlanta, and they scored 3 runs in 3 games.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, they did not. They did not score. They are having a hard time scoring runs. I mean, the Mets are having a hard time scoring runs.
Right.
But I will say this. Okay, so for anybody like going into this series against the Nationals, if you look at the Nationals, I had said if you look, they're scoring runs. Like the Nationals lineup, they're scoring a lot of runs. The problem with the Nationals is like tonight, the Nationals, they put up 11. Now, typically, their starting rotation and their bullpen has been bad. So for as many, 8 to 9 runs every game that they were scoring, well, their pitching staff was also allowing 9 or 10 every game. And so it's right. The Nationals, they can score runs. They just don't pitch well. That's the problem.
And for all of the fans that are like, oh yeah, how could a team like Atlanta lose 11-4 to a team like the Nationals? Well, tell me something. What's the best record we've ever seen in baseball history? Is 116-46, right? What does that mean? That means that team got beat 46 times. There's no team that's going 162-0. There's no team that's going 150-12. Okay, you're going to lose 40 or 50 games a year. And that's an outstanding season. The average season, I looked this up to have this prepared. The average season, the top team wins between 99 and 101 games. That means that they lose 61 to 63 games a year, the top team in the league. So there's still 61 to 63 games that you're not going to come out on top of. I'm not worried dropping one game in a series. Like you win 2 out of 3 in every series, you win 110 games a year.
Yeah, because I was going to say, in that case, if you're looking at okay, Atlanta losing to Washington or whatever, this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the Dodgers lost 2 games to the Rockies.
Yeah, exactly.
In consecutive games. So that's the point there. It's like it's baseball. You never know what's going to happen. Any team can beat any team on any given night. It doesn't matter. The Rockies beat Dodgers 2 consecutive games, and the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. So, I mean, that tells you something.
Right.
Now, going away from that for a second, we can actually go into the surprising good side, and I'll see if you agree with this one or not. Now, on my good side, what I did put for this would be the St. Louis Cardinals. Currently, I have them as probably the surprise team because when the season started, we had them around 28, 29, I do believe, in the power rankings. They were not scheduled to be very good. Like, we're like, okay, it was like 28, 29. It was somewhere around there. But they have had an overhaul of the developmental system that they had going on. They had an emergence of young talent like Jordan Walker, and Mason Wynn. Now, I know Mason Wynn doesn't have those eye-popping numbers, but he's a great shortstop. His glove is remarkable. Jordan Walker has already hit 8 dingers on the year. So, and Jordan Walker is going to be one of the next bright young outfielders in baseball. So, I kind of want to see if this is kind of the route you took with the Cardinals or if you kind of went a different route.
The Cardinals were definitely up there. I think they're definitely one of the surprise teams of the year. I can't say enough about Marmol. The guy puts a good lineup together every single night, and he's a hell of a manager. He is part of the reason why they are good. That's no question. As far as the Cardinals go, definitely one of the surprising teams for sure. I guess, looking at it, wasn't prepared with another team. If I had to say another team that's playing better than I expected, and maybe an individual effort on the part, is the Angels. The Angels are playing pretty well I think I had them 30th in the power rankings. Like, I had them pretty far down in the power rankings, and the Angels are actually playing pretty well. And when Mike Trout is playing well, they're not a bad team. I mean, Trout has come back to prove why he's one of the best players in baseball, and he's a first ballot Hall of Famer without question.
Absolutely.
And he's proved that this year. So I would say the Angels along with the Cardinals, but the Angels have surprised me too with how well they've played.
Yeah, and right now, currently, the Angels are actually only a game and a half out of first behind the Rangers and the A's. So they're right on the heels. The Cardinals are only a game and a half out behind the Reds. Another stat that I was going to throw out there, because this stat to me was crazy. And I know you're a math guy, so I know you love thinking about and looking at the numbers and stuff like that. So the Houston Astros are 9-16 at the moment. On the year so far, they've allowed 150 runs.
I mean, 25 games is 150 runs. That's an even 6 runs a game.
Yeah,
I mean, think about that. You're a major league player, and you're sitting in the locker room before you go out to a game, and you're like, boys, we got to score 7 tonight. That means that we have to go out and score 7. So in my mind, being a math guy, I'm going out and I'm like, all right, so that means seven runs, probably somewhere around 10 or 11 hits. So that means we have to, 1 out of 3 of us has to get on base and every single time somehow. That's very hard to do in a major league game.
It is. I just wanted to throw that number out there because we're talking about allowing runs, and you're looking at that. You're like, the Astros might have a kind of a historic year on the bad side of things with the pitching staff.
I mean, it's bad, and everything was projecting up for them. I mean, Hunter Brown was going to come out and be an ace, and I think he might be done for the year now. And really, after him, you look. I mean, they lost Valdez. Valdez went to Detroit, and man, did he pitch a hell of a game yesterday. He got knocked around for a couple starts, but he went out yesterday, and he threw a good game yesterday. But yeah, as far as the Astros go, I mean, they're in trouble. Like, I know we say you're not out of it in April, but I'm sorry, they're going nowhere fast.
Yeah, they are. They're going nowhere. All right. So speaking of baseball, and kind of staying on the subject, J-Mac's favorite one, because for whatever reason, I'm not really sure why, and I'm pretty sure J-Mac kind of feels the same way. The Wheel of Doom, you kind of feel like it hates you. It's like every.
Yeah, I mean, it's every year. Like,
so
I mean, I do have the Cardinals, so I'm hoping that they can catch first place. Because other than that, really, I have the Braves. Because then I got the Royals, thinking that was going to be good, and they're the worst team in baseball right now. The Giants, they can't score a run.
Right.
I mean, then you got the Cardinals this game and a half out. The Blue Jays, they're a disaster. And then I got the Angels. I mean, the Angels might be okay at the end, but really, I got one first place team. Everyone else is sucking it up. So
I legit thought to start the season, when I looked at the teams you had between, the Braves, the Blue Jays, the Royals, I was like, oh, you might actually be competitive so far in the Wheel of Doom. But then this time it's like taking a little twist. Now, to go into that though, so Josh, for the last week, so I'll tell you, this is gonna surprise you. Okay, the teams that Josh has from last week until this week, he's got a combined total of 13 points between his teams, because these are the teams he's got. He's got the Rockies. He's got the Phillies. He's got the Pirates. He's got the Red Sox. He's got the Tigers, and he's got the Astros. So
you better hope the Pirates catch fire and get in first place, man, because that's your one hope.
Or hoping that the Tigers, can start.
I mean,
can start winning.
Maybe the Tigers, but damn, the rest of that's rough, bro.
That's rough. And then of course Bree, who's sitting in first place, she's got the Dodgers, the Marlins, the Cubs, the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Rangers. So
cool. So she can root for. I mean, she's got everybody but the White Sox. So she's got everybody and then the White Sox.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Jesus, dude.
Yeah, pretty much. So after week 3 standings of the Wheel of Doom, we have Bree that's leading at 65 points. I'm at 62. Kyle's at 51. Jason, you're at 49. You're laying in the weeds, but you got plenty of time to bounce back there. And then you got Josh at 44 points, and he's got to hope that his team catches fire soon. Like, he's got to hope some team rises from the ashes and comes up and really pulls him out.
Well, I mean, look, if I have any luck with this stupid ass thing that we always do, which my luck, what'll happen with my luck is that because I'm a Braves fan, they have to be in first place. Like, I want them to stay there. But my luck is that all Josh's teams will end up in second place, and then my teams are all going to crash to the bottom. That's probably what's going to happen.
Well, so, I think the Blue Jays will turn it around. I think the Royals got a shot at turning it around. I think you're going to be okay with the Braves. And currently right now you're doing okay with the Cardinals. So that's one of those surprise picks that it's like, okay, you weren't sure, but
yeah, we'll see.
But they might come crashing down soon too. So that all right. So moving away from the Wheel of Doom, we go to our next topic of the evening, which is we saw that, we all know that the NFL draft is coming up on Friday. It's Friday night is night 1 of the NFL draft. And so with
holy shit, is it Friday? Is it going to be Friday night already? Damn.
Yeah. So there's a lot of speculation going around that the Cardinals, because the Cardinals have pick number 3. So there's actually a speculation going around right now that the Cardinals are entertaining and like open to listening to trade options at pick number 3, or they could stick with number 3 and go with Julian Love at running back. Now the problem is this: as we know, the Cardinals, they released Kyler Murray. So once releasing Kyler Murray, currently your best option is Jacoby at the moment. Other than that, they don't really have anybody else. So the question is this: is because we know that Mendoza is going to be gone. He's going to be gone at number 1. But then there's no other quarterback that is supposed to be drafted in the first round. It's second round or later for quarterbacks. And you know that's kind of something that the Cardinals need. So for that, should the Cardinals keep the number 3 pick and actually pick Julian Love, or should they trade it away and get multiple picks to fill in other gaps that they need? So, J-Mac, I know when I talked about Brissett, it looked like you were kind of getting excited there. Your eyes kind of widened like you had something to say there. So, go ahead and take it away.
Well, Brissett is their best option. The problem is Brissett is right now he's ready to hold out because he wants to be paid like a starter, and the Cardinals are not willing to pay him like a starter. So they have multiple problems. Like, if you don't re-sign Brissett, who's your starter? If you don't trade away or get a guy in the second round, who's going to start?
Yeah. No, I get it. But as the Cardinals,
and the Cardinals have been terrible for years. I mean, we talk about all these other NFL teams that have been bad. And listen, I'm the biggest anti-Raider guy in the world. We all know that, right? And how terrible they've been, or how terrible the Lions were for a long time, or the Browns, and how awful they are, or how awful the Jaguars were for years. But the Cardinals are the oldest professional football team in America. Okay. And do you know that the Texans, who are the newest franchise in the NFL, have 3 more playoff wins all time than the Cardinals, who are the oldest professional football team in the country.
Yeah.
This is the Cardinals' MO. They just don't do things that make sense.
Yeah, well, so that's why right now they were talking and saying they're at that point to where they're saying that they could shock the world a little bit and stick at 3 and go with Julian Love, or they could trade it away. And we know that, there was a few teams that were interested in the mix there. You had the Chiefs and you had the Cowboys that were like reaching out, going potentially that they could move into that 3 spot. And then the Cardinals would actually move down to, get to accumulate more draft picks so they can fill in more holes. So
of course they're going to accumulate more if they trade down.
But I'm saying though, like for the Cardinals though, it's like, should they do that? To me,
yes.
So you feel like the Cardinals should move off of 3?
Yeah, because they're going to be picking number 1 next year. So what's it matter if you pick 3 this year?
You really think they're going to be picking number 1 next year?
Yes, I do. I don't think they're going to pay Brissett, and I don't think that it's so they take Love at 3 this year. Okay, then they're still going to be at number 1 next year. Because if they don't have Brissett to throw the ball, they don't have anyone on the offensive line that can block anybody. Who the hell is going to hand the ball to Love? And then second off, who's gonna protect him to be able to run the ball anyway?
And I get what you're saying, and I know that teams have actually reached out to the Cardinals too, asking about Harrison Jr. And so there has been speculation saying the Cardinals could move on from Harrison Jr. also, and it's like, all right, so are they in like full rebuild mode now? I don't.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, they might as well. I think Jacoby Brissett can be that bridge quarterback if you pay him. But obviously you can't pay him all that money because, I mean, he was like 1-8 as a starter last year, so he didn't really.
You look at that team around him; they were terrible.
Yes, no, I get the Cardinals were terrible around him. I get it, but
dude, the guy had to throw the ball 70 times. Like,
Jacoby Brissett could be a bridge quarterback, but I don't think he can be your franchise guy.
No, he's not a franchise guy. He's definitely a bridge quarterback, but I mean, why not tear it all down? Like, you're already it can't get any worse. How could it get any worse? You're in the number 3 spot. Who are the 2 teams below you in the spots? It's the Raiders and the Jets. Am I right?
Yeah. So there was Jets. Yep. It was the Raiders, Jets, and then I do believe if you look at last year though too, the Giants were a bad team, but the Giants are going to be better. Obviously,
Giants are fine. They got Jackson Dart, they got Scattaboo. They're going to be fine. They got pieces, and they have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver. They got some great players on the defensive side. The Giants are going to be fine. You look at the 2 teams below the Cardinals as far as the draft picks go,
which is the Jets and Raiders. Yeah, the
Jets and Raiders.
The Raiders at 1.
They might compete with the Jets for being the worst team in the league because the Jets are terrible as well. But the Raiders are going to be better. They got lots of pieces in the offseason. They're going to get Mendoza, who I don't think, me personally, just from a feeling, I don't think he's going to be like, first ballot Hall of Fame guy, but he could be a franchise quarterback that could another Derek Carr, if you will. He'll be there for 6-8 years running that team. So they're going to be better. The Jets, I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know what the Jets are doing.
Don't forget the 6th pick in the draft though too. And the only reason I'm saying this, because I know that the Cardinals finished with the worst record, but this team, in my book, always does the dumb things too. And number 6 is the Browns. So, the Browns might be one of those teams too that could compete for that number 1 overall pick next season because they're not a good team.
No, they're not. But I think if you're the Cardinals, why not tear it all down? You know you're going to be picking in the top. You at least know with that. You're at least picking in the top 3 again next year. You already know that. You're not going to go out and shock the world. I mean, look at the teams in your division. Are you really think you're going to compete with Seattle, San Francisco, and LA this year?
No, you're not going to. No,
you're not. So you already know you're the bottom dwellers in the division. So you might as well tear it all down and build it all back up and say, hey, in 3 years, we're going to be good because we're going to get all this draft stuff and we're going to trade for all these players and trade these guys away now. Well, they still have stock.
So do you feel like, do you feel like there's a sliver of hope that the Cardinals might pay Brissett what he wants?
No. Because he wants to be paid like a starter. And what's the starters going for on the low end now? $40 million? They're not going to pay Brissett $40 million. There's no way.
No, I don't. And that's the thing. It's like, if you don't pay Brissett, though, who's going to be your quarterback? Because you obviously wouldn't take one until the second round at least. And there's not too many options out there in free agency now that you can just go out and be like, oh yeah, let's go out and get this guy. He can come in and be a bridge guy. You don't really have many options out there.
You don't, but they're one of those teams. They're not going to pay Brissett. Or they're going to talk him way down to taking this incentivized deal. I don't know. They are not going to compete this year. You might as well just know you're going to pick in the top 3 next year. Let's tear it all down and build it all back up.
The current quarterbacks that they have on their roster is obviously Brissett, which he's listed as a starter, and then Minshew is listed as the backup, and then Keaton Slovis is their third string.
There we go. Yeah, let's let Slovis start. I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not? I mean, shit. It took the Saints 7 weeks to figure out that what's his dumbass wasn't the answer last year. Spencer Rattler. A terrible decision by the Saints. You thought they were going to be the worst team in the league, and because they had Spencer Rattler at quarterback. And then who else did they have start? Einer, what's his name? Einer or whatever. And then they finally brought in Tyler Shuck, and guess what? They won 5 out of the last 9 weeks of the season. And why? Because your best quarterback was 3rd on your depth chart in the preseason.
They probably would have last year. They probably would have won the South.
They at least would have had a chance if they started Shuck.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying they would have had a chance to win the South, but for whatever reason, they decided to go with Rattler, and that was not good. But so with that being said, I think we're on the same page that the Cardinals should just go ahead and trade off a 3 and get some more picks and fill in those gaps, and then maybe draft a quarterback in the second round, or see if somehow you can trade for a veteran quarterback or something, and bring in a veteran. Heck, you could go get Andy frickin' Dalton for a year if you wanted to. You could go get Joe frickin' Flacco for a year if you wanted to. Bring in Flacco. He can lead your team for a year. Why not?
I mean, you might as well. Listen, if you go get Joe Flacco, you know one thing. You're going to need a good running back because he's a statue back there, but he'll throw the ball for you 45 times and won't care.
No, and you're going to definitely have to have a line because he's not moving.
He's not moving. No.
he's not moving at all. All right. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here within the next several days leading up to the draft, or if indeed we get that draft day trade. We could end up getting that draft day trade to where it says, oh, the Cardinals on draft day decide to make that trade. Going into our next topic, we have the the transfer portal, the NIL deals that we talked about. So how I broke it down was I said, I said the good, and then kind of the bad with it. So, the good I had that, the athletes can finally earn money from their own brand, reducing that financial stress. It compensates athletes for the massive revenue they generate for universities. It's sometimes used to keep key players from transferring by matching outside offers. So that's kind of where I have the three good parts about it. Now you jump into the three bad parts. And then when I'm done, you can kind of tell me if you agree or disagree or whatever. Now, the bad, I have the inequality part. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because the NIL funds create a larger gap between the high resource schools. Like you have like your Alabama, your Ohio State, and then think about a team like Ball State and places like that. Like Ball State and those schools are not going to be paying as much as Alabama and Ohio State. They just can't do it. And then the NIL often acts as like a pay for play, where players transfer for higher pay rather than academic or athletic fit, and that damages teams on the continuously good part because of that. And the significant pay gaps between teammates can foster that jealousy, and it can ruin your team chemistry also. So focus has shifted from player development to, as some coaches would say, and it's like we sometimes say in baseball when teams do it, simply buying players. So the NIL to me is generally seen as good for individual athletes' bank accounts and rights, but without the proper guardrails in place or regulation, it is viewed by many as damaging to the traditional structure of college football.
Yep, 100%. I was always a guy that thought, if a kid wants to sell his cleats or his jersey, man, that shouldn't be against the rules. Like, we should let him do that. He's just trying to do it to, get food or buy his girlfriend something nice for her birthday or their anniversary. And I never had a problem with any of that. And if they had brought that in and said that was acceptable, or the other thing that was always against the rules was a coach goes to recruit a player, but he can't buy his family a meal. Like, he can't take them all to dinner and pay for that. Okay. That was a little old school. That probably needed to change too. But what the hell did we do? Like, we just threw out all the rules and we're like, hey, here's this new cool thing called NIL. And Alabama, if you want to pay a guy $8 million to come play for your team, have at it. It's just, you're right. It threw out everything we know about college football. I can't keep up with where these players are. I swear, in a game last year with, what game was I watching? I was watching one of the major bowl games. It was a player from UCLA, and I swear the commentator was like, here's I'm going to just throw a name out there. I don't know if this is the kid's name, but it's like, here's, Joe Lombardi, and he started his career at Southern Florida, and then he went to Central Ohio. Then he got an NIL deal and went to Texas Tech. Then he went from Texas Tech to Oklahoma State, and then this year UCLA paid him $8 million to come be their starting quarterback. It's like 5 schools in 5 years.
Yeah,
I don't like that model. I don't like it.
No, I will say that I agree with that, because there are times that I've been watching, that I have been watching a game and I see a player and I'm like, well, last year, I was like, wait, he was playing for LSU. I'm like, when did he go to Oklahoma or whatever? So that's just, those are just examples. Like you're watching him and you're like, how'd that happen? When did they transfer? I didn't even know that the dude transferred. So
yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
we took everything and threw it out the window and basically made no rules on anything, and we ruined that. We have to. I don't know that it can be changed at this point, but
no, it would be too hard to change it back now, and sometimes when it comes to it though too, it's like players sometimes consider whether they want to stay in college because sometimes they feel like, oh, they can make more with the NIL deals and all the stuff they have in college than they could by going pro for whatever else. Like if they think they're going to be like a third or fourth round pick, they go, well, hold on, I can stay in college right now and I can make more. And it's like, so instead of going this year to the draft, I'm going to wait another year and come back because I can make more.
No, it was interesting. Speaking of Joe Flacco, I actually heard an interview with him, and they were asking him like the big difference from him first coming in the league to being in the league now. And he was saying, man, when I first came in the league, rookies were coming in and they were showing up in 1994 Ford Broncos. And they were eating ramen and crackers for lunch because they were working on a rookie deal. He's like, now you got rookies showing up. They're showing up in Lamborghinis and they're wearing Gucci necklaces and all this stuff from all the money they made in college.
Yeah, it is crazy. Yeah. So anyway. So going on to our final topic of the evening here, we are going to do what we call officials timeout. Now I brought this one up, J Mac, because this one's kind of funny, and I don't know when I'm watching this, and I saw this now. This was a very very old, like very 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 old, but when I saw it, I'm like, how did the umpire? I was like, what? Why did nobody just see what just happened there? It's like, were we the only ones? I was like, were we the only ones on film that actually saw what he just did? So the runner's on second base. You see him right there. I'm gonna try and make this a little bit bigger, see if I can make it a little. So you see right there, he was on second base. So you see the second baseman right there and the runner's right there. The runner's in white.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So this is what he did.
Okay.
So,
well, a lot going on there.
So
I will say, in a two-man crew, if I'm on the bases, I'm probably watching first and second on that ball because I got to make sure there's no outs there. But as a home plate umpire, I got to be watching third to make sure he touches third, right? But you're also supposed to not volunteer information if he doesn't touch third. So this is as much on the players as it is on the umpire. Like the opposing team, the third baseman should be screaming right now at his coach to appeal to third because the home plate umpire should be watching to make sure he touched third before he came home. And if the third baseman doesn't, what are you going to call at home plate? Like, you're not going to volunteer that he didn't touch third because that's not your job. That's as much on the players as it is on the umpire. I'm just being honest on that one. That's crazy.
I get it, but if you see it, it's not even close.
You're right. It's not. It's not. I guess in that case, as a home plate umpire, I would be suggesting to the coach in the most impartial way possible. Coach, do you have any questions about that play?
Because I will say I've never seen that before.
No, I have never seen that.
I've never seen. I've never
Nope.
seen a kid completely get halfway around second and then just cut across the infield.
Never seen that before.
That is crazy.
Well, a lot of things on this one. I mean, I know we're talking about the kid missing a third completely, but also, why does the home plate umpire still have his mask on? Like, he's supposed to have his mask off watching for those plays at home. So that's the first thing I would have asked him on that. And then, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even know. And again, if I'm the third baseman or the shortstop, I'm screaming right now that we need to appeal to third.
Well, yeah, because it looked like the shortstop, if you look at the video, it looks like the shortstop and third baseman actually moved up. Because there goes short, there goes third. It looks like the only. There's
okay, but
so
the catcher had to see something. Or an outfielder. I mean, somebody, trust me, somebody saw that. Somebody's got to be screaming right now. Like, or the coach has to be paying attention. A player on the bench, somebody's got to be like, throw it to third, appeal to third. Somebody.
I mean, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, there's so many things wrong with this play.
So many.
I wouldn't even know.
Dude, I've never seen that in my life.
Right? Completely disgusting.
I mean, damn. Like, he didn't even try to touch third.
No, it wasn't.
That's not even like I missed third. That's like I'm not even running to third.
No, it was halfway.
I mean, he stopped running to third like 45 feet.
Yeah, and then just
after second. Like, he cut 15 feet off of even going to the base.
Right. Just get to... that is a first for me.
That's an insane play. Like, I don't.
There's no even answers on that.
No. As an umpire in that play, if someone didn't appeal from the other team,
honestly, in that case, I'm saying something as an umpire. I'm like, you can't.
I would be like, did nobody see that?
The coach, you would think the coach had to see that.
Someone had to see something. I mean, that's just nuts.
That's like some kind of like backyard.
Because look, if you look right there, so if you pause it right before that, watch as the kid comes into home. So a little more. If you watch when he comes into home, watch him sliding in. So he slides into home. That home plate umpire saw that he didn't touch third. And I can tell you that because he didn't do the safe signal at home with the ball coming.
Yeah,
so he knows that kid did not touch third base. He's waiting for someone to appeal that play to third base.
Yeah, and the funny thing is I researched it and nobody ever did.
I mean, that's what that home plate umpire is thinking right now. Well, they're just going to throw it to third and get him out because he never touched third. And if they don't, like, as an umpire, I'd be like, what the hell are you guys doing? Do you even know how to play baseball? That's crazy. That is nuts.
And they're celebrating too. He's like, yep, I just got the heist of the century.
No doubt. And guess what? As that player right there that I just did that, guess what I'm doing in the next game I play that team? I'm doing it again.
Right? It was the heist of the century. So So speaking of that, just before we happen to wrap up, I will say I saw something last night, refereeing the flag game, something that even you would be like something that I haven't seen, and I've been reffing for a long time, and the guys I ref with last night were just like, what just happened? They punted the ball, and so the girl picks up and she takes off running, and she stops, and after she was returning the punt, she stops. They went to throw her flag. They went to grab her flag, and she just stops, looks up, and just throws a bomb down the field, and the defense goes and picks off the ball. And I'm like, I'm blowing the play dead. And the coach is like, oh, you gotta just let that go. I'm like, no, you can't. I was like, I know it benefits you, but I'm not gonna let that go. Legit, the returner just stopped and just hucked a deep pass down the field.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that before. And the coach is like, well, I guess it's an A for effort, right? It's like,
I guess so. That's one of those. If I was there reffing with you, we'd stand in a circle for a minute and be like, what do you got? I got nothing. I don't know what the hell this is. I don't know what to call.
I was like, illegal forward pass. I was like, you definitely
what else are you going to call? Illegal forward pass. They possessed the ball at the spot of the foul. Like, I don't know.
Like that. Yeah, I never saw that, and I was like, wow, that was cool. A stop and then a throw from a punt returner. Like, all right, I guess creativity, is everything. So I'm like, all right, well, it is what it is. But anyways, we're at that hour mark. So J-Mac, any final thoughts for you?
No, man, we covered a lot tonight. Keep getting good weather so we can get out and watching baseball. That's all.
Yeah, and I am now still stumped from watching that play. So I don't even know it.
That's gonna haunt me for the rest of the night. Like,
you'll be watching for it in the next game now.
Damn right I will.
Make sure nobody's cutting across the grass.
All right.
All right. Well, we definitely want to thank everybody for watching. It's been another fun episode. Coming to you next month, where we actually have a Sportsminute trivia night, and that one's going to be live. So with that, thank everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week for another episode of Sportsminute. Have a